Hello and welcome to the 2020 election between Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders. So before we get started, please go and subscribe. We're currently at 212 subscribers. We hit our end of the month goal, so now we're going to move it up to 220. So go and subscribe and let's get started. So we have RCP up, which gets all the polls and averages them out. In a general election between Trump and Sanders, Sanders is at +5. We're actually going to start with the safe Trump states: Utah, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, except the 2nd Congressional District, Kansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, West Virginia, South Carolina, and Alaska. For Bernie Sanders, safe is California, Washington, D.C., Maryland, Massachusetts, Vermont, New York, and the 1st Congressional District in Maine, Illinois, Hawaii. Moving into Florida, Trump has a +4.3 over Sanders, possibly over the comments that Sanders made recently and his low turnout in the Florida primary. So I do think Trump will win Florida in the lean column. In Michigan, Sanders +4.5. I do see Sanders beating Trump in Michigan, probably by 1 or 2%. He did not perform too well in the primary, though, but he is still pretty popular in Michigan. In Pennsylvania, Sanders +2.8. This is a hard one here. Usually, Pennsylvania is more a moderate Democratic state, and Michigan's mixed, progressive and moderate, and then Wisconsin is usually pro-progressive, more on the Democratic side. So I'm going to actually say that Pennsylvania will tilt to Trump. In Georgia, Trump +10.5. That's very high. That's more than he won Georgia in 2016. Sanders does not have that southern appeal. He is more the Midwestern, Northeastern, and Southwest appeal. Going into Arizona, Trump +1.4. I do see Trump winning Arizona. There wasn't too much turnout on the Democratic side in the primary, so I'm going to lean it to Trump. Probably by 3% he'll win it, roughly the same as last time. Going into Iowa, Trump +7.5. Yeah, I could definitely see Trump winning Iowa once again. Even though Bernie Sanders won the popular vote in Iowa, I do still see it going likely, just because there's a lot of moderate support there that would be turned off by Bernie Sanders and could be possibly turned off by Trump and his rhetoric. So I do see probably a lower turnout with moderates and more progressive and conservative turnout, and generally there's more conservatives in Iowa. Going into Wisconsin, Sanders +1. This is also a hard one here because there's also a lot of moderate support in the rural areas, as well as like Kenosha area. There's more progressive support, I think, in Madison and Milwaukee. So I do think that it will be close. You know what, I'm going to go back to Wisconsin. Into Virginia, Sanders +2.7. Sanders did not perform well in Virginia. Trump didn't perform well in Virginia, so it's going to kind of be a cancel out. So I'm going to go Virginia lean. Going into New Hampshire, Sanders +3.7. He won New Hampshire, his popular vote, and I do think he'll win New Hampshire, probably in the likely margin. We're going to go over the other states that are not in polling. We'll go back to Wisconsin after, but Rhode Island likely, Connecticut likely, New Jersey, Delaware likely, Maine likely, Oregon likely, New Mexico likely, Colorado likely. We'll go back to Nevada as well. Minnesota lean going to Trump, likely Texas. Lean Ohio. North Carolina lean Trump. Lean Trump in Nebraska second. Lean Trump in Maine second. And back to Bernie Sanders, Nevada. I could see it likely or lean. I'm going to say lean. So now Trump 280, 248 for Sanders. Trump won the election. We're down to Wisconsin. So Sanders +1. I'm gonna give this to. This is a very hard state right now to decide over. I'm gonna tilt it Trump. His approval rating has been on the rise there, and with the USMCA passing in Canada now, it'll take effect and actually help a lot of farmers and some automobile manufacturers, which are actually more in Michigan and Ohio, less in Wisconsin. But the agricultural help will help voters. Even though there's this coronavirus threat of causing recession, I believe it'll be a short recession if it is to happen and rebound in the last 2 quarters of the year. Thank you for watching. Please go subscribe, like the video, as well as hit the notification bell to get notified when new videos come out. Next Tuesday, I will be live streaming Georgia unless there's a delay and they delay Georgia's primary, but we'll see. So go check that out.